So I've been saying for a while and repeatedly that I would rather have a few individual apps that each do one thing really well versus one app that does several things kind of well. And in this video, we're going to take a look at an app that does one thing very well, and it's called Warracker. Now, Warracker is, as it says here on this GitHub page, an open source web application to manage product warranties, track warranty expiration dates, and store related documents. Now, this GitHub repository will be linked in the video description. We're going to come back to this later, but I just wanted to kind of address what is Warracker? And again, it's to track warranties and warranty expirations and associated documents with a purchase you may have made. So what I want to do at this point is show you my demo instance of Warracker, kind of show you how it works and that sort of thing. Then we'll go back and take a look at the GitHub repository briefly, and then we'll get on to how to actually deploy Warracker. And it's actually pretty straightforward. So let's jump over to my desktop here. This is, of course, my demo account that I am logged into. And here we can see, the Warracker logo area up in there at the top left. We've got a home page. That's where we are now. We've got a status page, which gives us kind of a quick view on some things. And then a menu over here at the top where we can see our information, like our login information, our settings page, our about, and log out. But let's go back to the home page first. Let's just click home. Apparently the logo doesn't link. I kind of wish it did, just because I've been developing I developed websites for a while, a long time ago, and the logo always linked back to the home page. Maybe that's changed and I'm just not aware of it. Anyway, so right here, we're on the home page. We can see our warranties. And right here it says your warranties. We can add a new warranty, or we can refresh the list by clicking the little refresh button right there. If I wanted to, I could type in, Elgato. And I actually like that it filters in real time. That is super helpful. I love seeing that kind of thing in a search functionality here. I think that's great. So, I could type in, Samsung, and there it is. I wonder if I could do 25. Nope, I can't search by expiration date, but that's fine. We can search by the title of the product, and that's great. Over here, we can export our list, or we can, if we've got a list of products, like say in a spreadsheet or something like that, we can import from there as well. If I just click export right here, right there is a CSV. And if I come over to something like Google Sheets, just as an example, if you've got a self-hosted option, that would probably be fine as well. I'm just going to click on import. I'm going to come over to upload. I'm going to grab that CSV, drop it in there. And then we're just going to replace the spreadsheet, and that's all fine. And here we go. This is what the spreadsheet will look like. I'm going to drag this over a little bit so we can see what's going on here. Product name, purchase date, warranty period, expiration date, status, serial numbers, tags, vendors, that sort of thing. If I wanted to, I could build this out this way and then actually come back over or export this first, obviously, to a CSV, and then come over here and click import. And then it would take that CSV file, and I could have everything brought in very, very quickly. And I super appreciate the attention to detail on that. Below that, we've got statuses. We've got active, expiring soon, or expired. Right now, everything is active, but let's see, expiring soon. I'm not sure what the cutoff is for expiring soon, but apparently 50 days isn't it. That is the newest, or the warranty that I've got that will expire the most in the most near future. Man, my words are failing me today. But anyway, we can see the products that I have in here. I guess I should go back up. We can see tags. Oof, that's kind of rough. That is kind of rough to see. It is what it is. Look, this app is still very much in development. I think technically it is still in a beta, so just be aware of that. But anyway, tags are there if you wanted to say, I just want to look at my Elgato stuff, or I just want to look at my Silverstone stuff. I can do that. We'll click all. I can look by, or I can sort by expiration date, purchase date, or product name, which I super appreciate as well. And by default, it's in the grid setup, but I can do list, or I can do tables. And I think this is all very, very cool. So that's just kind of the gist of looking at the warranties that are already in your system, and of course, how to export and import. But let's say we just wanted to add a single warranty to our setup. We can come back over to here. We can click add a warranty. And then we get this little pop-up modal window here. And I can say, we're going to call it a tutorial product. and then we'll say youtube.com/dbtechyt. Of course, this would be the product page for wherever you bought it. You can enter a serial number here, right? Just like so, click add serial number. Maybe you've got multiple serial numbers for some reason. You could do that as well. You can say, where's the vendor? For me, in this case, the vendor will be YouTube for the sake of this demonstration here. Now here we can either click next or we can click warranty. If we don't fill out certain fields as we go along, it will tell us, hey, you need to fill in this field, right? I'll demonstrate that. I'm going to skip the purchase date. The warranty period is going to be, I talked to the developer about this morning with regards to the warranty period. By default, it is, in individual years. So it might be 1 year, or for like, say, 6 months, it'd be 0.5 years. Or so you may have to do some math in there, but I believe after a discussion that I had with the developer and somebody else in the Discord that they plan to actually fix that so that it's easier to enter 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 2 years, 5 years without having to do any weird math. The purchase price we'll just say is $1. And this is a tutorial demo, right? So now I have, I'm going to say the product is, or the warranty is 1 year. Now I've deliberately skipped the purchase date. If I click next, it's going to be like, no, you can't do that. Right up here, it's like fill in all of the required fields. So we're going to put in today's date, which is right now. And of course, that is 1 year from now. Now that's not to say that the validity of this video is 1 year. This is, again, just demonstrative here. So once I've filled in everything, I can click next, and it will go to the Documents tab next. This is where you could upload a receipt or a product manual or anything like that that may help you complete your warranty needs as necessary. So you would just click right there. Let's go to my downloads. Let's just grab that. Now we've got this PDF in there, and I can click next. Here we can do tags, and we saw tags earlier. We can see existing tags in here. I'm going to call this a tutorial and click plus. Now, the problem that I ran into when I first did this was, I typed in, let's say video, and then I hit enter. If you click enter at this point, it's just going to finalize the inputting of this warranty. So that was just something that I noticed. So if it happens to you, you can be aware of it. I'll click create again, and here we can see the two that are there. I can check additional things in here, uncheck as necessary. Or you can click here and manage tags. So if you needed to, you could do that as well. I'm going to click close. And then next, we've got a summary. This is all of the different information that you've entered so far. If you're happy with this, you can click Add Warranty. If you're not, you can click Previous and go back and take a look at different pages and fix them from there. But I'm going to click Summary and click Add Warranty. And right here is a tutorial product with all of the information that we just entered. So I really love how easy it is to enter your products and their warranty information and their purchase price and all of that sort of information in one central location. But what actually makes Warracker even better, in my opinion, is that when you've got a warranty that's getting close to expiration date, it can actually send you an email if you want it to. So if we jump back over to my desktop and we take a look, this email was sent to me this morning about 4 hours ago saying, hey, this product expires on this date. Again, this was me doing some testing, but it's like, hey, you've got an upcoming warranty expiration. Just be aware of that. And it's actually part of the Docker Compose that allows us to build in the SMTP server to get these notifications. So I think that's what really, for me, kind of pushes it to the next level, is not only are you storing this information, but you can also get notified when these warranties are about to expire. So you can do a final check before the warranty expires so that you can do your warranty as necessary, or you can get a replacement, or whatever the case is, and you're not kind of caught off guard at the last minute when your product is broken and you realize your warranty expired 6 months ago. So I love the ability to get notifications through Warracker. The next thing I want to do is actually come back over to my desktop and come over to here. And we're going to take a look at the status page next. This has all been kind of the home page. Next, we've got the status page. We can see Our activity, we've got five items in our list that are all down here at the bottom. We can see expiring soon, expired, and again, total. Our warranty status distribution, again, active, expiring soon, expired. Warranties expiring, and it tells you in June of 2025, April of 26, May of 26, April of 27, March of 28. You can see when those are happening and how many are happening in each one. And then below down here, again, you can kind of get another look at your different warranted items. And again, up here at the top, you can refresh if you want to do that. The next page over here is going to be up here at the top right under our username. Again, our username, our email address. We've got settings, about, and log out. So if we click on settings here, this is the settings for my for my account at the top. So my name, my email address, I can change that or save that. Do I want dark mode or light mode? There is light mode. It's too bright for me. Default view is table view, grid view, list view. You can select that on based on your preference. Currency symbol USD, but there are others in here that you can use if you want to do that. Expiring soon days. So when you're by default, when your warranty is about 30 days out, you'll get a notification. But you could set this for 6 months if you wanted to do that. I think that's a bit much, but you could absolutely do that if you wanted to. For the date format, you can select your date format preference: month, day, year, month, year, month, day, whatever you want to do there. You've got several different options, and I appreciate the forethought that went into that. Next, we've got email settings right here. And do you want to get email notifications? Yes or no? You don't have to if you don't want to, but I like the option for that. You can also determine how often you'll get these emails: daily, weekly, monthly, completely up to you. When do you want to get notified? You can set the time there, and you can actually set your time zone so that you know when to expect that email to come through. Once you got all your settings in each of these different sections set, just click Save Preferences. And just know that if I make a change up here in this top section, clicking Save down here won't save for that section. So you need to save for each individual section. Just something to be aware of. Next, security, change your password. You can absolutely do that. Delete your account. Probably don't want to do that as an admin. And actually, when you go through the Docker Compose setup that we will take a look at in a moment, there isn't a default admin account. The first account you create after you deploy this will be the admin account. So that's just something to be aware of. It's one of the things that I wasn't sure about at first, but then once I logged in, I was able to see that. And in fact, if we scroll down, again, this is because I'm logged in with the first account that was created. We can refresh our data here. We can check admin status. It says you're an admin user. Oops, okay, great. Oops. We can show user list, which is just me for right now. We can test our API settings if we want to do that. I actually haven't delved too much into the API stuff, so I can't speak to any of that at this point. So I just wanted to be clear about that. Next, there is like a, hey, I need to do some testing, for instance, right? I'm going to click Send Warranty Notifications. Are you sure that you want to send warranty expiration notifications to all eligible users? This will immediately email users with warranties expiring soon. So I click that, and I don't think anything's going to happen here. It didn't. Because I don't have anything that falls within the time frame that we established up here in the expiring soon days. You kind of get the idea on how that works. If you're troubleshooting your email settings, like I spent a lot of time doing over the last 2 days, this send warranty notification button will be your friend. We'll talk about email here in a little bit and some of the issues that I ran into with my setup that may save you some time. If we scroll down a little farther, we can enable or disable registrations. I've currently got this set to disabled. And then the base or the email base URL. This is only important if you are going to be getting email notifications, or if you have email registration enabled. The email needs a URL to point to in your emails that you're going to get for account registration and warranty information, that sort of thing. If you don't put anything in there, your emails are going to be kind of useless almost, as far as being able to go in there and click the individual links in said emails. There won't be anything to click there. Again, once you're happy with everything on each of these sections, you can click Save Site Settings. And if we scroll all the way back up, We can click our name again and click About. And there you go. About Warracker, current version is 0994. You're using the latest version. More information in here about all of this. And if you want to support the developer, you can click right there and buy them a coffee, which I think you should if you like this app. But with that said, let's actually jump over to the GitHub repository and take a look at that. Here's the GitHub repository. And again, there's Docker stuff in here like you would expect. We've got front end, we've got back end, we've got a Docker file, we've got a Docker compose, we've got the Nginx configuration file for the front end there. Again, we've got the about section that we had read earlier in the video, some tags. 275 stars at the time of recording this video on May 5th, 2025. Would love to see that number go way up. I'm not logged in, or I would click it right here. Again, you can see that there was a big update released yesterday, and there have been 29 releases so far from the developer who's actively working on this. Below that, again, we've got our logo. We've got more information about issues and licensing and commits. All of that stuff is there. And again, Warracker is an open source warranty tracker application designed to help you effortlessly keep track of product warranties, expiration dates, and related documentation. We kind of took a look at all of that so far. And then here again, here is dark mode, here is light mode, a status dashboard, and then features here, which is kind of more of, this is more features about the application. So warranty management, document storage, status, notes, searching and tagging. So all of that we've kind of already covered. Responsive design, and I actually like that they put that in there. It's optimized for both desktops and mobile devices. And the reason that I love that is very often when I make videos about these types of applications, more than probably a dozen times, somebody's left a comment of, well, if there's not an app, I'm not going to use it. And I don't like that mindset, because this is one person building this application, right? And if they had to not only build this application, but an Android app and an iOS app, well, something is going to suffer, or it's going to cost them a small fortune to hire the developers to handle those things. So because this is a mobile-friendly application, it's a web app, but it's mobile-friendly, means you can pull it up on your phone or your tablet or your desktop or whatever screen you've got, and it should work pretty effectively in all of those different viewports or screen sizes. So you could just add this to your homepage on your phone or your tablet or whatever, or save it as a bookmark and go to it when you need to on any device that you need to access it on, without having to have an Android app and an iOS app and the web version. And the developer's like, look, we're going to do it one way and it's going to work across the board. And I absolutely love doing that. Again, that may come from me having been a web developer when the mobile first concept first originated like 15 years ago. It was, we build for mobile and then we work our way out. And I think that that's super important to allow for faster development, for easier development across different applications. So I love that they've included that in one of the features of this, so that they don't need to build 3 different versions of this to support different platforms. And I wanted to bring that up. I wanted to talk about it a little bit, because I think it's a super important thing that people very often overlook or misunderstand. So anyway, back to this. Again, secure login, password reset, email alerts, imports, exports. We've kind of talked about all of that. Our technology stack is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The backend is Python and Flask. The database is Postgres SQL. Containerization for Docker and Docker Compose. And again, the web server is Nginx. And then there's several different ways that we can set this up. And this is how we're going to do it, is with this Docker Compose right here, more or less. And then, of course, there's more information about here for usage, managing warranties, product information, entry requirements for import. And there's more information in here about like all of the different table fields that we looked at, but is it required, yes or no? And of course, more information here about the development, the roadmap, common issues, contributing if you want to do that, and acknowledgements. So all of that, again, will be linked in the video description. So with that explanation and demonstration and all of that kind of stuff out of the way, let's take a look at how easy it is to get Warracker installed via Docker. I'm going to use Portainer for this, but you could also use Docker Compose via command line if you wanted to go that route, or you could use Yacht or TP or Casa OS or Zima OS. However you want to handle this, this should be able to work without any issue as long as you kind of translate what I'm saying here over to those other specific platforms or methods of deployment. So if we jump over to my desktop here, we can see that our Docker Compose is right here. Our service is Warracker. Our image is pulling from the GitHub container repository right there with the latest tag. By default, the front end port is going to be 8005, and then the server port, the container port, will be port 80. If you're already using port 8005, change the 8005, but do not change the colon or anything after the colon there. For volumes, we've got a Docker volume of Warracker uploads that is mapped appropriately for the backend of the application. Next, we've got our environment variables for database host, database name, database user, and database password. So for the database host, by default, it is Warracker DB. We can see that right here. That is the host name of our Warracker database. That is actually set down here in this section right there. So if you wanted to change the database host to something else here, you also need to change it here. I want to be very clear about that. Our database name is going to be warranty_DB. Again, you can and probably should change that, but if you change it here, you also need to change it down here under the environment variables for the database. Same thing for the user, change it, but change it in both places. The database password, this configuration here with the $, the curly braces, that sort of thing, is more of if you're using an environment variable setup for this. I've actually, in my Docker Compose, I removed all of the $signs and curly braces just because it didn't make sense for what I was doing, and I'm just using the warranty password. But again, change this here and down here. You need to make sure that they match in both places so that the application can talk to the database. Next, we've got our SMTP host, port, username, and password. This is where I ran into some issues, and I actually had a chance to talk to the developer as I was going through this yesterday. I was trying to use my G Suite account with app passwords to send emails from this application, and spent like hours kind of trying to troubleshoot this, but then used a free Gmail account with app passwords, and it worked fine. As it turns out, it looks like G Suite has kind of done away with less secure apps using app passwords. In order to not be a less secure app, I believe that there's a process that the developer has to go through in order to not be considered a less secure app. I'm not 100% on that. Again, not a backend developer, not my forte. So I switched over to just using a free Gmail account with an app password. If you're not sure how to get that set up, there's lots of resources online that will help you get an app password set up on your free Gmail account. But that's what I had to use in order to get this to work. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention in case you're trying to use a G Suite account and you run into similar issues where it just will not send. If we come back over here, you'll put in your SMTP host address, the port that you're using there, probably 465 or 587, your SMTP username, and your SMTP password. Again, you could put all of this in an env file if you wanted to, and probably should for the sake of security, but it's right here for right now. So you would just put all of this information in here. It depends on the Warracker DB being up and it being healthy. And then the restart policy is unless stopped. And that is the Warracker application portion of the Docker Compose here. Next, we've got the database section. Again, we're going to use Postgres 15 Alpine for this. Our volume, we've got a Docker volume for this versus a mapped volume. So again, Docker or Postgres _data will be the Docker volume that will be used for this, and it's mapped appropriately. Probably don't need to touch any of that. Again, for our environment variables, we've got our user, or our database, our user, and our password. Again, probably go ahead and change each of those variables, but change them in both places. Again, a restart policy if unless stopped, and then a health check where it's going to make sure that everything is ready and up and working. It's going to check about every 5 seconds or so. Sorry, Voice trembled there because I'm still working on a little bit of a cough. Sucks. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, below that, down here, we've got our volumes declared for Postgres data and Warracker uploads. Both of those are the Docker volumes that we saw in the previous sections of this Docker compose. So basically, all you need to do at this point is copy this, come over to Portainer or your Docker or your SSH or your TP or your Zima OS or whatever it is you're using. Paste it in here, make the appropriate changes in here. I've been doing some messing around in here, so none of this, I don't care if you see this, none of it matters. But once you're happy with everything, you can scroll down and deploy. Now I say scroll down. You can deploy via whatever method you're using. Then after a couple of minutes and you're sure that everything is up and running appropriately, you can go to the IP address and port for your setup and put in, or you'll want to create an account first. I'm not going to get into that right now because you guys know how to create an account. I believe in you. But then you can get logged in or create your account. And then it will redirect you. And then at this point, you can start creating your different warranties and that sort of thing. And it's really just that easy to get Warracker up and running so that you can keep track of your purchases, their warranties, and get notifications when your warranty on that particular purchase is about to expire. I love the flexibility and the customizability with this setup. I know that there are other things coming down the pipe from the developer. Again, I talked to him this morning and yesterday. Super easy to work with, super friendly to talk to, at least from my experience. So definitely check this project out if you're looking for an easy way to keep track of your purchases and your warranties and get notified when your warranties have whatever time frame left before they expire. So hopefully you found this video helpful. Let me know about that in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, links to everything will be in the video description if you want to check that out. Would love for you to let me know your thoughts or what your favorite emoji is or something down in the comment section down below. But I think with all of that said, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me here today, and I'll talk to you in the next video.